Okay, so this is my collection of Wizardry maps. The first one is the most messed up one. What I did not know when you start them is that you always start in the bottom left corner. But so we kind of we just didn't have a reference point to start with. So we started actually up here in the middle of the graph paper, and as I went over, I had to tape more graph paper on it. This is completely messed up. So this is where you fight the Murphy's Ghost, and you get the first one of the first key items. And this right here is the giant dark tunnel that goes up through to the top of it. And as you step out of the bounds or whatever, then the remastered game, you'll not make a sound, and so you know that you've come from one end to the other end. So on level 2, honestly, I don't remember too much about level 2. You had some coming in left to right over here. I would have sometimes question marks. See, the thing is like there's other than coming in and getting I think there was keys or something in the center. You had to go to get the silver and the gold key. You in the first 4 maps, you're trying to get the key items you need and to unlock the elevator that goes from 5 through 9. Now, I've read that level 3 is something that people recommend to skip. Now, I've marked these flip panels here. So the whole level loops up and down, and then you'll hit these flip panels and you'll kind of get disoriented if you're not paying attention. And if you don't know they're there. This is the first one that had the pitfalls, which are the damage off the pits is very, very high. And I think that's where you would come down at, and you would come over here, and you would go down right there, and it was through a secret door. Most people don't recommend doing number 3 because there's no items on it. I didn't know as I was going through it. It was considerably harder than the other 2. So on level 4, it's pretty much the part where you can go and you fight the dang, what is it, the Monster Allocation Center. It's right there. And so this is where you would come down from, and you would go down to level 5 through 9 after you had the key item keys. There wasn't much going on from what I remember. It was pretty easy. Just the vast majority of the time, I spent a lot of time on 4 just grinding, and that was the little alarm panel right there. Move over Brian here. Brian, what are you doing? Did you do this? No, you didn't. I know you didn't. Okay, so level 5, I think this was the first of the console levels, so I guess the NES version. I didn't have too much trouble with it. There's a couple flip tiles here. There's a lot of door shenanigans, but if you try to just, I would move my map around to try to keep from just getting disoriented. And I want to say that they would try to loop you through one-way walls back into this kind of loopy section over here. But I actually, when I was doing it, I did this section first, and so I was able to almost know when the doors came in. It's yo, that's just going to lead me to this long looping hallway thing. Okay, and so we're out of order here. I'm about to say, as soon as I saw that, I knew that was 7. 6, this is probably one of my most incomplete maps because you can clearly that I don't have stuff done here. I don't remember the gimmick that they were trying to do. There's a lot of dark areas. Gooner, get your ass out of my fucking... Anyway. He's just a continuously hostile kitty against Big Kitty. Anyway, he's right back. Get on. Get! Anyway, this is the one I got least mapped out. And I can't remember what these were doing, but I mapped all those areas out. It's kind of, I think I had a rough time getting started, if I remember right. But we got this guy for the most part done. I ended up finding the exit and just keep going. There was, what was they, spirits or something in here? They had a high chance of killing my ass. Now 7 is the big stupid hard one that this is where I had the big party wipe or near wipe. Okay, so the dragon's right around in this area, but you would hit a teleport and it would end up down here. That was really confusing. But this right here these is where the pits were, and I didn't actually go to the rest of the part because I was so scared. I hit 3 pits in a row, and I was so beat up that I couldn't get going. Never mind that in order to get back up, you actually had to go down to 8 and then figure that out. So this is going to be one of the hardest ones, period. But you could go and you could farm that dragon right around there. And I think you would get in like right there, all the dark parts that looped around the big diamond. You would get in there and you get down there to fight that dragon. And there's tons and tons of stuff that's here that isn't even really necessary. But that, dude, that's just how this game works. Just a kitty, but the big kitty. What? Really? Why should I pet you? Alright. Alright, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? What a jerk. I love him. Alright, so this is level 8, which is the one I spent the most amount of time trying to map. The reason why is because it has all of these it has the most amount of teleports. And so it's divided basically into 4 sections, of which the bottom ones are pretty easy. This one actually I had a hard time finding it. It's just the anti-magic zone. It's all in there. That was pretty easy. But this guy right here with all of the dark areas and everything looks the same, with there's I don't know, 5 or 6 teleporters there. That is an insane. It was nuts to try to map that out. Now over here is where I tried to find the exit down to 9. It does not exist. And I thought I might have mapped something that I might have mapped, say, like at that room and not actually go in it, but I mapped it from the outside. So that's the only thing I could think. I couldn't find it. And so I went through and I just did a photocopy of it, and I went through and I dotted every square and visited every square. It actually didn't take that long because I was pretty familiar with the map at the time. There is no there is no stairs down to 9. Okay? Now over here is 9, and as far as I know, I have it all. I don't know if there's just not much here. If there is, I don't know how to get into it. And so you take the elevator down, and you could be right there to level 10 if you wanted to. It's very fast. I was worried about getting in there and not being able to get out the way I'd had with these console levels. But they give you an exit right out there, right when you get into style 10. You jump down that chute to get there. And finally, I don't have a good map of 10 at all because they didn't allow me to use my my Dunapick spell, and I didn't know where I started or whatever. But it's actually pretty easy. You would go down some kind of windy corridor, and then you step into the room that just has teleport. So the first one right here is where you would go there. I didn't know what the heck to put 2, so I just put 2 down here. That's where you go for 2, 3. The 4's in the center, and I want to say once you're down to number 4, they don't have optional teleports besides an escape route. And I'd say there's like 5 or 6 to get to Werda, and then we just nuked his ass. But that's a bunch of maps, man. That's a bunch of maps we did, Ryan. We beat it. we defeated 1981. Wizardry. Ron's like, I don't care.